No, we're not a racist country. We're a united country. We're the United States of America. And they put that in there to divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Oh, there's this party and then this racist. It's not true. What they've done, it's just a deflection. Put it over here, and everybody look over here, or the mask thing, and then the vaccine thing now. Put it over here. The vaccine is serious. What they're doing is overplaying their hand. How dare they take and if you want a vaccine that wasn't okay by the FDA, that's good for you. If you want to listen to whoever, I don't know who they are, and you listen to them, but you know what, then don't worry about me. I'll do what I want. I feel if I would die if I took it more. I have a more chance of dying. That's just me. You're not going to tell me what to put in my body, and you're not going to make me lose my businesses because you can't, like they tried in New York. I don't know if that even went through. I've been so concentrated on this, where you have to be vaccinated, and the restaurant owners are supposed to, they have to have proof of vaccination. Yeah. When only 30-some% of like blacks and Hispanics are vaccinated, so you're not letting them in. And they're supposed to enforce that. Businesses, small businesses, as if they didn't destroy it enough, destroy them, and then let's do this. But you know what? That's all working to our benefit, everybody. Because why? Because as long as we got a platform and we break through the media that's ruining, the terrible journalists ruining our country, that make the people the enemy. As long as we break through that and we all have the same voice, this is our freedoms. We're fighting for our freedoms. This is just, if we were to win any further on this curve, we almost lost it. You get here, you got to thank God that we're in the best time in history to be alive. Ever. Because this is going to change the course of history. Right. Because if they would have took the machines that took our country, if we didn't have all these deviations, we went through that, you would have never known. And then it's over. You never get it back. You can't go back and say, once communism is here, what are they doing? They're going to destroy it. And you can't, if you control your elections, if you don't have elections, you never get to go back the other way. Right. And I think we were probably getting there. Now that I met so many Republicans and Democrats, sometimes you don't know which one's which. And that's scary too.
I think that's why it's so important that a clerk and recorder is here to just speak to you and share with you, because you have an obligation to defend your own vote. You have an obligation to secure your own backyard. It really is we the people. It's our job. I think about Sean, who's already served his country, and Representative Ron Hanks, who served his country, and yet here they are getting back in the fight again because they didn't fight just so that we could give it all away. Right. They didn't fight just so we could surrender we haven't even begun to fight yet. And so I think it's really important to know that when our vote is our weapon. And so if the Secretary of State or a government is weaponizing your vote against you, you got to fight back. You got to push back any way that you can. And today is the day. Today is our battle. This is our fight. Somebody said we weren't here for Normandy.
I'd like to hear a little more about actual Dominion machines. Tell us, when you talk about a Dominion machine or any of these machines, what was your thought when you hear all the lies out there from the media that they're not online. They can't even go online. We all heard that one, right? They can't even go online. Well, how does the data get to CNN where they flip to those votes in real time that time? How does that get there? Of course it goes through the internet. Everybody needs to get it. Do you know that you can hack it if you hack the Dominion machines or directly, then don't they go to this point and you could get it in between, correct?
Yeah, I couldn't do it, but
somebody could.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They call them commercial off the shelf. They're not commercial off the shelf, they're ordered. But regardless, they're commercial quality machines. They're not defensible. You cannot defend them against it. If they're not a target for a nation state level threat, if they don't want our elections, what would they want? And they've already demonstrated, foreign hackers have already demonstrated their ability to penetrate any system they want.
We had one today just in our mock election. He hacked it from out here in 5 minutes from a cell phone.
We were hoping
from a
for that
cell
one,
phone.
It's true.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. But with the machines, You know, another thing too, we paid for them, taxpayer money. $6,000, $7,000 a piece. I read on the Facebook. Alan Duke will figure out if that's true or not. But it's $6 to $7 grand. But it's not just that. It's the maintenance on them. I've heard there's a charge, a monthly maintenance. You know, they're doing this maintenance fee that we're all paying. I mean, you'd think that would be enough for them, right? Rather than be in on stealing our country. But no, there's something very evil there. It's like Dominion. When I went out and said, Dominion sued everybody but me. And you know what I did? I kept going every time I was getting attacked. Mike Lindell lost 4 more retailers today. Then the bad media, they'd all call me. They all have my direct number. Mike, you lost 4 more retailers. Did you hear about China and Dominion attacking us? Dominion. This went on and on and on. Mike, you lost your Twitter account. Did you hear about Dominion and China attacking us? It's the only media I had. You know, as they're attacking. But finally, Dominion, I had to beg them to sue me. Did I beg them to sue me to give them evidence? No, to get back in the news because none of the media was calling after I put out absolute proof. Now they did it the other way. Don't talk to him anymore. He's getting his message out even though you're attacking him. You know, and that's all I had though because you don't have Fox. Fox is silent. They get you another way. You know, I said it the other day and I'll say it again. I said there should be a weather channel. I changed my mind. They wouldn't report an oncoming storm. You know, it's disgusting. Can I just say, so I have a lot of criticism for a lot of the media, but there are some good media, and we should praise them. OAN, number 1. Newsmax was here. They went like this, but they're back. Don't live in fear anymore, Newsmax. You're already in now. This is the second time they went after you, and I think you just stay with us.
Right, yeah.
Right Side Broadcasting. They're right over here.
And you know what? You know what? I really do believe that there are good people in the media. And I think it's just those people, just like me, out of 64 counties in Colorado, I'm willing to stand up as the county clerk, 1 out of 64. And there are people in the media that need to stand up and say, I'm not, you know, I'm going to, if I have to risk my job or whatever, I'm going to say the truth.
Right.
And I think if enough people did that, you might have to start your own media company. But
why are you so afraid to say the truth?
Well, you know, in their defense, because I know most of them, okay, they have my direct number. I'm going to give you a story about the New York Times and the Washington Post. 2 months apart, they came to me and they wanted to do, the one kid from the Washington Post wanted to do it like a long, they call it a long, I mean, this would be the whole front of the paper, right? It's a 2.5 hour, actually, no, it was a 4-hour interview. It's a long interview. I said no, and he wanted to do it over the phone. I said, we're going to do it by Zoom, but you got to read my book first. Okay? It's a 27-year-old kid. He read my book, and we went on Zoom. Now, he's torn. This is a story of an ex-crack addict, you know, living the American dream on steroids. You can be anybody you want in this country because of our freedom.
Exactly
Anything
right.
can happen. It's the American dream. So this kid reads it, and we do this Zoom interview, and his article is going to be printed, right? And I didn't hear about it, right? Didn't hear about it. Now, on the same path, the New York Times, it was down in Florida. She did almost identical thing, 4 or 5 hours. Now, she showed me her article ahead of time, and I'm going, there is no way they're going to be able to print. The New York Times will print that. Neither one got printed because their bosses, it was too good. You know, so what I do, I have to take the bad media, that Zach that wouldn't come up here, he's a little coward shy, but he, I blocked him. I took him off my phone. I blocked him for 2 months after the Frankathon. I blocked him, right? And he finally, the other day, about a week ago, he said, Mike, will you please unblock me, you know, so you take his calls. I said, yeah, Zach. I said, I don't mind you printing your garbage like you all do, but you better at least quote me, and all outside of that, you can do what you want. And he was pretty good about it, except for today. You know, he puts it up, and he said, why don't you come up on stage and say this? They're cowards. Some of them don't even put their names on it. They don't even put their names on it. This is the enemy. This is the only thing stopping from getting our country back, everybody, is the media and the journalists, and including social media. That's it. We have all the evidence. Are you kidding me? All the actors, the terrible actors like your Secretary of State, they would be called out if the media was right. They would be the ones that should be in fear because they did bad things.
Right.
Right?
They sure do.
You know, I have a saying that, our family is very much a proponent of integrity. And I've always said, one thing, I'm getting too old to remember some things, but the other thing is if you tell the truth, you never have to worry about what you said. And so I think it comes down to integrity. It's just tell the truth.
Right. That's a good point because everybody says to me, I put up with them every day. I don't have to think of a lie I told. I just put it out there.
Right.
I'm on Jimmy Kimmel. Everyone says, Mike, that was great. Actually, it was pretty easy because I just answered the questions. Right. Have you seen Bigfoot, Mike? Would you believe in Bigfoot? I haven't seen one, but if I did, maybe. I don't know. But I haven't seen one. He asked me these questions. You're a lot like Hunter Biden. You both were crack addicts. I read your books. You just give them the answers, So this attack, but I got to say it again to where there's hope for this country. I got to say this. Did y'all see when I was on Jimmy Kimmel? Okay. So did everyone said, don't go on there. Well, you know what? I had to get around the media block. There's a whole group of people out there that don't even know that we have stuff like this. They don't even know because they're blocked by the only channels they watch. The garbage CNNs of the world and the MSNBC and the Washington Post, they're reading that. My paper in Minnesota. And I'm sure there's papers all around the country that are horrible. There was the Minneapolis Star and Tribune in case everybody wanted the name. Horrible. But they, with all of this media.
The trust of the people. They've lost the trust of the people.
They've lost the trust of the people, absolutely. And with that being said, these people had not heard. So I go, well, if I go on Jimmy Kimmel, I knew he was going to attack me. There was a guy on there, they're making fun of me. We're going back and forth. But he said he watched 19 hours of our Frankathon when I launched Frank's speech, which by the media says it was a failure. That thing stood its ground. 150 million people came in there that weekend.
Awesome.